And we're back. Speed bench day, and it is a freaking hungry one. And not just because I spilled my pre-workout meal all over my shirt again and needed to change shirts before coming down here, but because we actually dropped calories a little bit this week because weight was kind of creeping up to the higher end of where I want it to be for making 275. Like sitting like 287, 289, so nothing too crazy in terms of making it down there. Like the cut will be super, super, super easy at this rate, but I don't want it to accidentally turn into a harder cut. So pulling back on food is a good call, even if I am hungry because I was used to a hell of a lot of food the last couple of weeks, but we'll suck it up and we will deal with it. And on today, the thing that's on my mind the most as far as training goes is how do I best progress from last week to this week. And last week on this day, I ran 155 in a doubled micro for my speedy-ish bench. And this week I'm thinking I got two options. Number one, I could go up to like 175 in the doubled micro, or I could run a doubled mini with 155. And I'm at least leaning towards the doubled mini direction, mostly because a mini band is a hell of a lot more exciting than a micro mini. And a little bit might be like word association with micro. Like no one gets excited hearing that someone's got a micro. So mini at least is, little bit less embarrassing to be working with. So if it feels good, I'll run a mini band today for the speedier-ish stuff for 6x6. If it feels less good, you guys will know because I'll be using the micro. So let's warm up, wake up a little bit, and get to pressing quickly. No micros here. Even the Elite 0 to 90 pad is so much freaking nicer than the ER. Oh, I'm spoiled. That's a lot of band. Think it'll work. I miss being strong. That's big jump from last week. Wow. Not gonna lie, little nervous for this, but timer out. Let's roll. Lock it in. Big lats. That wasn't bad. It's gonna get hard. Oh, that's gonna cook. Over the hump. Think I'm gonna make it. Oh, come on. Oh boy. One more. Holy fuck. Wow. This is almost scary. It's like trying to balance making them hard enough with not actually dying. Because I really don't want to miss and get stuck under the band. Holy, wow. Yeah, that was slow, but man, everyone that says speed work is too light needs to run it with tighter rest times, and you will quickly realize that it does not in fact feel light at all. So that was fun, but nipple slivers next. Next one, more slivers. I really gotta just take some sandpaper to the boards. I'm going for like a hard lock, soft touch with these, trying to help teach myself to use my upper back to control the bar better again. So, more slivers, next one. Bah. One more. That's feeling better this week. Like it's more natural to find that catch point. So hoping that carries over to more stability feels on my Friday. Kettlebells on flat today. And not sure if arms are just fried from the mini bands, but these feel really freaking hard. Might have to drop back down. We'll see. Actually doing okay. Ooh. Oh. Okay, let's see if Lefty does okay. Oh, it burns. One more. I wish I knew how to do like the leg jiggle quad stomp, but I can't like relax enough to get the jiggle to go. All right. Talked about it before, but when arms are in shape for bench, it's like triceps feel like a hydraulic press. And like chugging through reps like this is kind of what I was talking about with that. It's happening. Let's go. Fuck, that's fun. So we're combining two of my favorite ways to make a push-up harder together. Doing it on the band to make it harder to control shoulder blades in relation to the rib cage. And if we put the band on top of it, makes it really hard to push rib cage back past the blades with that serratus, and just makes these freaking nasty. 10 out of 10, would recommend. Couple more. Running the orb press the other day had me wondering, does size matter? And could smaller, not black balls be as satisfying? I don't know why this is so weird. I just wanted an excuse to use the Elite Grenade balls because I haven't touched them in a while. And now I'm talking about touching balls, so just do the set. Oh, this actually feels really nice. And these are sick attachments if you have access to them. Oh. Couple more. Yeah, small balls, still fun to play with. One more. Yeah. Yeah, they were. So the best part about training in the basement is that last week I just left Meadows Row setup out, and now I don't have to set up Meadows Rows today. So on these, try to keep it really strict and like spreading out into the bar like I would spread the bar on bench, and it makes it really nasty on rear delt and the rest of upper back. Feel the squeeze. Couple more. All right. Big spread, big squeeze. I think the trick to making any pulling motion a lot more effective is to not try to pull slow, but be patient through the initiation so that we are making sure that we're actually contracting and loading with muscular tension and not just jerking off and momentuming it with something else. For the sake of time efficiency, gonna run dumbbells on delts and do front side superset so that I can do 2 exercises at once with 2 hands at once instead of using the cable like I did last week. Still trying to really control and squeeze out of the bottom on these. Quite nasty. Ooh. Sides. Last one. Dirty pumps is the goal. Gonna change angle to make it more visually interesting. I don't know if that's a thing or not. Motherfucker. Yeah. And as promised, we're taking weight off of the adjustables because we were too swingy last week. So dropping back down and building our way back up. Hashtag starting strength. Hashtag reset to bar. Hashtag 3x5. Not really, just gonna get a sick pump once again. The whole grab rack, lean and hang is also sick for just finding real nice bicep feel. 10 out of 10. Also recommend for some single arms if you so desire. This actually feels really light on here after the other week, and I'm almost losing the... Oh boy, that's sketchy. Okay, back to the set. Now it's hard. Spoke too soon. Tighten, tighten, tighten. And it's like I'm trying to gently shove elbow forward to make the levers a little gnarlier right at the start. Not trying to like just swing momentum, but it's like a gentle shove, then curl. Once it feels like there's a fuck ton of tension. Oh, that's gross. One more. Pump check. Need to invest in a tape measure to find out if this shit's actually working. Till I do, gonna pretend that it's actually working. Hammer's next, and like I like variation on the other stuff I'm doing, because with like my main lifts, with my accessories, oftentimes I'll have good reason to change intent slightly based on what I'm trying to accomplish with the session or the block or whatever the hell we want to call it. But with arms, all I really need to do is make my arms contract really freaking hard. So sticking to the basics and just contracting really freaking hard. Last one. Slow down a little. Slow down a little on the eccentric. A little more squeezy squeeze. Wanted to say something about how doing curls is like juicing oranges, and then I realized that that analogy was going nowhere, so pretend I didn't say that. I don't know, maybe squeezing all of the juice out, but I don't want the juice outside of me. I want the juice inside of me so my arms grow. Maybe it was supposed to. Miata, can you move the camera? That's good. And running some spread eagle sit-ups on the floor now, mostly because I wanted to lay down, but also these are really, really, really hard, especially since last year when I ripped my groin off. These are gnarly for me, and I should be probably doing them more often, so I'm going to get in the habit of doing them at least a little bit more often. And it's like with these at the bottom, I'm trying to flex my ass, push a little back into the floor to start, curl ribs, finish with an adductor pull. And yeah, these suck. Got these from Clint Darden in 2013. Oldie, but a goodie. Ooh. Couple more. Ooh, goodness gracious. Pec is sore after all of that, but it's not like I did something sketchy sore as much as it is the thing actually worked today sore, which is really sick. And I'm learning to embrace that feeling more and more the more I trust the Pec, because if I want the thing to get better, I need to challenge it. I need to use it so that I can create an adaptation that will actually let it get better. And along the way, it is going to be necessary to feel it. And the key is differentiating between feeling it that is sketchy and the kind of feeling it that is going to allow it to get better. And the more I use it, the better I'm getting at knowing where to draw the line and knowing how hard I can push it. And I'm excited to see where the rest of this goes. And I'm sure, as you guys have noticed by now, with the Pec, with bench, with training in general, I'm pretty fluid and flexible with how I'm setting things up. Like, I'm not making a lot of decisions until I'm actually like doing the thing. And with programming, I definitely am biased towards more of a bottom-up philosophy than a top-down. I don't have a grand plan all mapped out, and I'm more about trying to create the best training day that I can so that I can create the best training week that I can, so that I can create the best training month that I can, so that I can create the best overall meet prep and training year that I can do. And where people screw this up is that if they think that like bottom up periodization is the way to go, which I would agree with, that means that there is no plan at all and everything is just do whatever the hell we want on the day. And that couldn't be further from how you should set up a bottom up plan. Because in order to make a bottom up plan work and not just be a giant clusterfuck of getting lost out in the woods, we need to have like a general idea of where we want the week to go, where we want the mesocycle to go, where we want the macrocycle to go, so that we can actually go there and make decisions that align us with where we want to be. So like with my bench, I have a general idea of kind of where I should be along the road and how things should be feeling and what I want to accomplish to get myself to the meet as good as possible. Now, in terms of actually getting there and actually accomplishing those mini objectives, mini goals, I still will be flexible in like trying to pick the best thing I can do on the day to get there, but I still have targets that I want to reach for. Same thing with squat, same thing with deadlift. I don't have plans set in stone, but I have an idea of how I want the waves to shape out. I have an idea of what direction I want to go with max effort, although those waves are subject to change. The max effort selection is subject to change. The accessory selection is subject to change based on how I am performing and based on what I'm seeing in the gym. And Mike T, with coining his whole emerging strategies things, talks about how the program should emerge based on how the program is going, right? And if we kind of think about it in that way, we have the plan, but how the plan lays out becomes kind of apparent based on how the plan is going, which is a little bit of, dancing around mentally, but once you wrap your head around it, it really just becomes intuitive and you can adjust on the fly and have that flexibility built in. And on the other side of things, like if someone is more top down, if they are more strict in laying out their plan and they have the whole training cycle laid out beautifully with all of their loads pre-selected and everything, the problem I see with that is, at least for myself, like a random Tuesday 12 weeks from now, I'm not going to know exactly how I'm going to feel on that day. I'm not going to know exactly where I'm going to be, and I would rather have some degree of flexibility built in. So if someone is working with a more strict program layout, I'd often advise them to have their plan and know where they want to be, but at least give themselves the option to be flexible on the day, just in case that things feel like total ass and they need to step down, rather than forcing it and potentially risking some sort of setback. Or if things feel really good, there might be a circumstance where they could potentially take advantage of that, although that is going to be a little bit more rare, because if we feel good and then we overshoot and we end up screwing up the meat prep on the other side, so we necessarily don't want to do that. But the point that I'm trying to make is whether we are trying to be more fluid and flexible with our plan, or if we're trying to be more strict, we kind of need a bit of both involved to make it as good as possible. Because if we're too fluid, we're going to get lost. If we're too strict, we're going to risk having a day show up where we're just not able to do the thing on the day very well. And we might have problems emerge that we could address if we had a more fluid approach. So basically, summarizing even further, if you're more fluid, have some sort of roadmap. If you are more strict, have some sort of flexibility built in, and your shit is going to work. So, little periodization philosophy to end a bench day that I am really stoked on. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and see you soon.